work that this organization does takes people in when they're at the lowest point of their life and helps them recover, helps them understand why they're here, how meaningful and how amazing individuals they are. I want to thank our hosts this evening. There's a few of you very young and inspiring people. Matthew, Eric, and Nicole Newman, Alessia Rosso, Kabir Gill, and Mercedes Tibollo. What you people are doing today, just start on the virtual on that video there, save one life, you're saving hundreds of lives, and maybe thousands. These 3 beds will have people in them every day. So whenever you wake up in the morning, you think about those 3 beds that are helping save someone's life. What you young people are doing today is so inspiring. We need, our world needs more people like you. So on behalf of Caritas, its board of directors, its amazing staff, and all the guys in the program who are putting their lives back together, I want to personally thank each and every one of you for what you're doing today. So thank you. Caritas, I'm just going to conclude here, but Caritas is a very special place in my heart. And people ask me all the time, so why are you involved with Caritas? Did it save somebody in your life, somebody close to you? And the quick answer is no, but the real answer is yes. And the reason I say no is because I've never been in a situation where I meet a family member needed Caritas. But the reason it's yes is I meet all these individuals who come into the program and see them 2 years later and what they've become and how amazing they've gotten their lives together. And it's quite moving and inspiring, and that's what keeps me going here every day. So thank you again to all our hosts this evening. From the bottom of my heart, it means the world to me, to what you're doing. So thank you very much.
So Anthony and I go back a long way as well, because I was involved with Caritas before I became a politician and became the minister responsible for mental health and addictions for the province. I can tell you how important it is to have a continuum of care, to have the opportunity to provide treatment to individuals in need of help. Because you all know that sometimes we trip and we fall, but we all deserve a second chance. We all deserve an opportunity to improve our lives, to get our lives back. I can tell you that I really never wanted to be a politician. I was doing a lot of work in the area of addictions and mental health because I saw a real need to do more. And a lot of organizations that are around like Caritas that are trying to help people wouldn't exist if it wasn't for volunteers, if it wasn't for the people that do fundraisers like what you're doing. Because most governments in the past have been very ignorant when it comes to understanding that you have to provide treatment opportunities for people that need help. So I came to government, and one mission I had, I was the Solicitor General, so I was responsible for all the police forces, the fire departments. I was responsible for basically everything having to do with public safety, my previous position, including being the minister responsible for corrections. So when people are bad and end up in corrections. From there, I lobbied and I worked really hard to get to the point where they created a portfolio called Mental Health and Addictions, Ministry of Mental Health and Addictions, and that's what I got as a portfolio. And I've been making investments, trying to build what we call the continuum of care. The beds that we're talking about tonight are what we call withdrawal management beds. What that means is that an individual who wants to get help needs to have an opportunity to get his system or her system back in line. So they have to detox, they have to come off whatever substances they were on. That allows them then to go into treatment. And when they go into treatment, that time that's spent, a lot of times it's through talk therapy, not with more substances, but with talking through issues. And a lot of those issues are issues that happened when people were in teenage years or younger. So there are what we call attachment issues, right? That, difficulties in the family and that kind of thing that lead to problems later on in life where you look at substance as a way of coping with those difficulties. That's the basis of a lot of addictions in this province. It's those underlying mental health issues that aren't being addressed. So my message to the young people here, first and foremost, is thank you for doing what you're doing. Because what you're doing is you're showing us as adults that you're inspired to want to help other people. And there's a famous expression, there's lots of expressions about volunteerism and how important it is. But if you want me to tell me, if I want to know who you are, I don't have to know it by being told who you are. It's through your actions, the things that you do, and what you do to raise money, to help people that are marginalized, that are in need of help. It speaks volumes as to who you are and who you're going to become as adults. So I want to say thank you to you. The other thing I want to say to you guys is that what we want to try to do is not only work to help people that have an addiction issue, we also want to figure out how we can prevent that. And what you're doing through your actions is you're saying no to substances. You're saying no for easy answers or easy solutions or looking for a way to cope with problems. You're saying that there are ways that you can, being part of a community, doing the kind of volunteer work you're doing. You're building character in yourselves, but you're setting an example for other young people like you. And that's what I really, really am focused and energized in seeing, because what that means is there's one less kid who could become an addict. And you know what? Addiction, you can recover from addiction, but it's not an easy journey. So we can avoid people having to go down that route because they need or think they need that help. We've saved an incredible amount of lives. So you're doing two functions. One, raising money to help people that have addictions, but you're setting an example to the people who don't have an addiction and hopefully won't get one, because you're setting an example and a high standard for people to live up to. And that, I'm proud of all of you for doing that and for continuing to do that. And make sure that you reach out to people. Ask your friends how they're doing. You guys have gone through a difficult time. I didn't go through COVID-19 as a kid. You haven't seen your friends. You've seen them through Zoom. You haven't had a chance to socialize. You've been isolated, alone. Lean on each other. Say hello. Ask each other how you're feeling, how you're doing. Talk to your parents if you're feeling depressed. Right? There's lots of great people out there that are going to help you if you're feeling those emotions. That is the answer to the problems, to talk about them, not to keep them inside. So I'm going to stop there because I can talk forever, as you can see. But I want to say again, thank you to all of you. Thank you, Anthony, for the amazing work that you continue to do. It's inspirational. He's taken Caritas to a whole other level. The staff that works at Caritas, they are doing God's work. Actually, you're all doing God's work. All of you for being here and contributing. All of the young people that are out there doing what they're doing to try to raise money. All the people that work at Caritas, you're all doing God's work. And that's how we're going to make a difference in this world, is to keep that in our hearts and work forward from there. I brought a few things tonight that I'm going to get my lovely assistant here, Vanna.
Oh God, you made her day.
So one at a time. So what I did was I had a certificate prepared for each of you from myself as the Minister for Mental Health and Addictions. It's something that you should keep and be proud of and be reminded of the great work. So it's to each one of you, and it just basically says an appreciation of your volunteerism and helping and advocating on behalf of the most vulnerable in our society. You lead by example. And there's a quote that I'm really fond of. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And that's what all of you are doing. So God bless you all. Stay safe and keep doing what you're doing, because it will pay off in dividends. There's a saying that says that cast your bread upon the waters. So put your time out, volunteer. It will come back to you many folds. So the first one is for Alessia Rosso. I'll have all of you. Oh, and let me just, the other thing I'm giving each one of them is something called a challenge point. If you were in the military, you would have one of these and you carry it in your pocket. And when you go into another city or another town, and there's another person that's either a police officer, a firefighter, paramedic, military, whatever, you take this out, you put it on the table, and if they don't take theirs out that identifies who they are, they're responsible for buying a drink for everybody in the place. It was a tradition that started back in the military, and it's now carried on everywhere in Ontario, actually all over the world. And this coin is the challenge coin of the Minister for Mental Health and Addictions, and on the back of it, it says, "Corpus sanus mentis sanus," a sound mind and a sound body. Okay, and I'm going to present that with you. And the next one is Kabir Gill. Emma Rosso. Madeline Rosso. Milena Rea. Luca Rea. And Matteo Triassi.
My name is Mercedes Tibollo, and I'm the Director of Student Philanthropy for the Newman Global Initiative. As you may know now, this year we are fundraising for the purpose of assisting Caritas with opening more detox beds for their facility. And for those of you who don't know, detox is the practice by which all traces of alcohol and drugs are eliminated from the body, safeguarding that a person is physically stable and ready to start therapy. So alcohol or drug addiction results in people's bodies becoming used to having substances in their system, and when these substances are gradually reduced and removed during detox, the brain has to adjust to the sudden drop in these chemicals. This typically causes people to experience a set of unpleasant symptoms known as withdrawal symptoms, and so detox beds assist in people's transition into going into therapy and coming clean. So our goal is to help fund the purchase of 3 detox beds for Caritas, and your contributions are appreciated. We'd also like to thank some of our corporate sponsors tonight: West Village Dentistry, Finch Center Jewelers, Ray of Foods, Synergy Waste Systems, Cavallino Wine Bar, of course, and Rosenwing McRae Rosso. Now we are going to hear from 2 of the guys in the program, Matt and Nolan, and they're going to share their story with us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matthew Green, and I'm a client at Caritas. My journey in life began where I feel that I needed help. It was about 3 years ago. It was a very hard journey. I hit rock bottom, completely depleted of all things, and didn't have nowhere else to turn, didn't know what to do, didn't know what to say, didn't know how to act, just a complete mess. So I reluctantly didn't do anything about it. I tried to keep going. I'm too tough to give up, to give in. So I kept going like that, and it was not healthy. I became more of an addict, and it was not. I thought it was a good life. I thought I could handle it, but it wasn't. It was really tough, and I went to many places. I went to Belleville, like 2 hours east of here. I went there for the first time, and I was addicted to drugs. Not so much alcohol, but drugs. So I went to Bellevue, and it was a 3-week program, and it was good. The coordinators tried, but it wasn't what I needed. It wasn't what I needed, because I don't know, maybe I'm too stubborn or too thick-headed maybe. It didn't work, so I kept spiraling out of control and tried to do it all on my own. I didn't ask for any help. I didn't ask for anything from anybody. I thought I could do it, and I was just too badly addicted to the drugs. So I carried on like that for another few years, and then I had enough. I couldn't take it anymore. It was just, I was going to be homeless. So I swallowed my pride and called my uncle. And he's like, Matt, what's going on? You know? So I explained myself. Before I get into the next part, I want to say that I've achieved 2 things in my life that I'm proud of. And one is getting a black belt in Taekwondo. I'm not just saying that, I actually did. It's a weird coincidence. I obtained that through hard work and discipline. And the second I'll get into. So yes, I went to rehab in Belleville, and it didn't work. And I hit rock bottom, completely depleted of all things. So I called my uncle. Now I believed that I didn't have any family. Nobody cared about me. Nobody liked me. All that stuff was just, it was in my head, but it was all made up. That wasn't the truth. Yes, yes, my family's cautious with me, but no. They had my back when it counted. So, my Uncle Cosmo, he called Caritas for me because I didn't know what to do, and he being the smart man that he is, called Caritas. And I said, "Are you sure? Like, is this what I have to do?" And he goes, "Yes, Matthew, yes." My uncle arranged everything for me to come to Caritas. And I was broken, I'm telling you, I was messed up. And so I said, you know what, let's do it, because I can't take this life anymore. This is not good. So we went to Caritas. And Caritas accepted me, which was shocking. Not that anything bad about Caritas, it's bad about me. I was in rough shape, real rough shape. Badly addicted, and hopeless. And Caritas opened their arms to me. They showed me care. They showed me what life should be like. And wow, I lost my work ethic before. And integrity, everything. So, it was really hard to do what I had to do, but they didn't give up on me. And they had every reason to, because I wasn't the best client in the beginning. Someday I'll be able to share exactly how I feel, but I'm working on that. But Caritas changed my life. They saved my life. They gave me everything. They gave me a roof over my head, food to eat, companionship, respect, honor. It was amazing. And I can't say anything bad about it because I don't think there is. Some people may disagree, but they really did save my life. So yeah, and now I've been in Caritas for 2 years and 7 months. I did the 2-year program, graduated, went to the transition house, went on my own, and I came back this time because I had to. So, I just want to say that Caritas saved my life, and I'm thankful to be here. Thanks, guys.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Nolan McDonald. Bear with me here. Like Maddie, I haven't been out in public in a while, and I haven't spoken publicly in I don't know how long. So, if I fumble on my words or whatever, I'm kind of coming into this unprepared. I think doing things like this, speaking from the heart, not from a book or from a page, means more to me, and I hope it means more to you. Okay, so as I stand here now, I've been in the program for just over 13 months. I've been to many programs before. This is my 5th program, but there's absolutely no need to indulge in any of those because if any of them worked, I would be standing here talking to you about this. I about why this program is now working for me, and what this program has done and what others could not achieve or I couldn't achieve. Okay, I started using drugs and alcohol from a young age. Do I know why? No. Do I really need to know why? I don't think so. What matters is where I'm going and what I want to strive to do. For my whole life, I had no drive in the means of I had no idea where I wanted to go. So I started using drugs at a very young age. And like I said, I don't know why. But if I look back on it, there's a few points where I can make some connections. Did I always feel a part of the crowd that I'm standing in? No. Anxiety and depression didn't really hit me until later on in my life. I'll get to that. Sorry. Loving family. I have two sisters, the youngest of the crowd. My mom and dad are still around, they're still together, and fortunately, I love them unconditionally, and I also receive that. And at times, more than I thought I deserved. And that is part of the reason why I'm still standing here and able to talk about that. It's more difficult than it was. Wow. I honestly don't even know where to start, but I'll just get into what this program has done to me so far. The reason why none of the other programs worked was because either I wasn't ready or, like I said, they didn't have anything to offer, and I wasn't open-minded to anything that I was being told or influenced. But coming here, how different it is, it's incredible. Do I agree with everything that happens all the time? No, but I think that's why it's another reason why it's working. Life doesn't always give you what you want, but there's a reason for everything that happens. They have a lot to offer. I had a pocket full of things that I wanted to say, but they're reaching in there now, and it's I'm feeling this lint. Times that I didn't think I deserved it, or I didn't want to. I'm so grateful to be here. Like I said, there was a few times where I wanted to leave. I didn't want to be here, but that's just because I was being fed honesty. Sometimes that's hard to deal with. But dealing with life on life's terms is what we all have to do. For myself, I couldn't do it by myself, and to be quite frank, I don't think anybody in this room can do it by themselves. So, if I can be brave enough or courageous enough to be able to ask for help and receive it when I need it the most, Caritas has been there with open arms. So I'm just really grateful for that. And with that, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you.
About their lives to people that they're not familiar with. So I would like another round of applause for them. One important announcement that I'd like to make is that Matt did graduate from the program. He realized after he left he needed to come back, but I'm happy to tell him tonight that next week he's moving to Reentry House.
I want to give a big shout out to our team of students that kicked off this event online. Matteo Triassi, Megan Rajkumar, Luca Rea, Milena Rea, Madeline Rosso, Anthony Richardson Jr., Emma Rosso, and Alessia Rosso. We are also presenting the first ever Rea Foods Community Award. And this year it's going to Eric Newman.
gets the big prosciutto.
Oh! Well, it's something, all right.
Take a picture with you.
Yeah, it's like a trophy of me. Nana's gonna love this.
Our generation has the ability and the responsibility to make our world a more helpful, stable, and peaceful place. My name is Kabir Gill. I'm 15 years old and I'm currently in grade 10. I would like to introduce my co-hosts for this mental health and addiction initiative, Matthew, Eric, and Nicole Newman, as well as Alessia Rosso. Ladies, gentlemen, and honored guests, thank you for being here this evening during this very trying time for all of us. Our goal is to continue to raise awareness and help to stop the stigma of mental illness and addiction. The organization we support, Caritas, has helped hundreds over the past 30 years, and we want to help them continue to service mental health and addiction. Tonight, we will be discussing the opioid crisis impacting the world. The funds raised this evening will help purchase 3 detox beds for Caritas. These beds will help approximately 350 people annually in the Caritas Crisis Withdrawal Management Center. There's an African proverb that says, "It takes a village to raise a child." Well, it'll take a village to raise awareness and stop the stigma. Thank you. Now we have
A philanthropist is a person who donates their time, money, skills, efforts, or talents to help create a better world. Silvana, Anthony, and the Caritas team, thank you for the tireless efforts you put into making this a better world. You are setting a standard for the sorts of persistence, activism, and heart that this community needs. Your dedication is a beacon of hope that we need. Anybody can be a philanthropist, regardless of their status or their net worth. Philanthropy gives us hope for a brighter future. Now, whether you're a sultan of salami like John Rea, or students like us, you can make a difference. Now, I know we focus a great deal on facts, and the facts are important. However, it's the stories we hear from the members of the Caritas program that really capture the struggles. The opioid crisis is a health and social issue that affects many individuals, families, and communities. Yes, we may face some challenges, but I know we are making a dent. I want to thank all our family and friends who are serving as our magnetic north tonight. Your presence here this evening is met with our sincerest gratitude. When we work together, we do better. The differences we make matter, but our common humanity matters more. John F. Kennedy once said, "If not us, who? If not now, when?" Thank you.
In the United States, one of the fastest growing drug problems remains prescription drug misuse, which involves opioids. Back in 2016, almost 4% of teenagers between ages 12 to 17 reported abusing opioids. Older teenagers and young adults ages 17 through 25 reported approximately 8%. Most of this misuse is due to prescription opioids. Did you know that here in Ontario, 23% or 220,000 students reported that they were sold, offered, or given a drug at school in the past year? This is the point in the speech where I would have liked to quote my mom, Stefania. However, I had some challenges converting the quote from her traditional Calabrese dialect. Adults and parents can make sure that teenagers who are struggling with opioid misuse get proper treatment and support. Few teenagers with an opioid use disorder receive treatment.
Good job.
Before I talk about the opioid economic burden, I would like to thank my arch rival, Tony Ross, for matching the $5,000 my good friend Frank Rosser contributed. In the United States, substance abuse treatment, healthcare, and criminal justice cost more than $80 billion. That's more than double the Nova Scotia's GDP. In Canada, oh, my Grizz gonna love this one. We lose $5 billion to productivity yearly. In the United States, between 2006 and 2012, oh, wait, I think I mean 2016. The United States market has been flooded with more than 75 billion pills worth more than $450 billion. Full disclosure, I do own pharmaceutical stocks, so please don't short sell them after hearing this. Nicole?
Now that we've heard some alarming numbers from Eric and Alessia, let me drive home some additional facts. 70% of mental health problems have their onset during childhood or adolescence. Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Think of this. Of the global disease burden, 13%, or 1 billion people, represent mental illness, substance abuse, and neurological disorders. Yes, 1 billion people. Approximately 80% of people from low-income countries receive no treatment, and that is something that we need to address. Right here in Canada, we have a 1 in 3 chance of having a mental illness or a substance use disorder in your lifetime. The public needs to better understand the challenges that mental illness and addiction poses to the fabric of society. Whether we accept it or not, mental illness and addiction have a huge relationship.